Good morning. Welcome to Old Vine Zen. I'm Jan, and it's early like Sunday morning. Thank you for visiting. It's a beautiful morning. The sun's out, and it's cool for a little bit. I listened to a country music song this morning, and it was so good. I can't remember his name. I think his last name was Jackson. But anyway, I think I'm going to go country for a while. It was so moving. It was just, don't listen to country if you're sad. It was called Remember When, I think. Oh my gosh. So, anyway, what do we do after it's over? What do we do with ourselves? I'm going to tell you what I did. One of the things I did. It's a little story, so get comfortable. Sit back. It was my first holiday coming up alone. Now, this is after 32 years or so of being with someone, and I found myself alone, and I was feeling really badly to the point where if I went to the grocery store, I would notice everybody else's cart, and they were full of, Thanksgiving meals that were going to be prepared. And I looked at my cart that was empty except for salmon and arugula. That's what I ate mostly for 3 years about. That was so sad to me. But I thought, what am I going to do for Thanksgiving? I could stay in my little cottage that I rented. I was lucky to get because there was a line of people that wanted it up in the hills. I could stay there, but I thought not. But what to do? I have very little family. That was out. And I had one invitation from a friend. She and her husband were going to other people's house. And I thought, no, I can't do that because I'm not social right now. So that was out. So I thought, I'm going to try going to a monastery or a temple because I know some of them rent rooms, when they have retreats and that sort of thing. So I found one that was about 2.5 hours away, 2 hours away. And I called, and a nice lady answered, and I told her I was looking for a place for Thanksgiving weekend. And she said, I'm sorry, we usually rent rooms, but nobody's going to be here. So the dining hall's going to be closed. There's no meals, and the staff isn't going to be here. The only people that will be here are the monks that come in daily to serve and help the dying monks that have rooms there. But other than that, it's closed. I went, okay. And I think she could tell how disappointed I was in my voice. And she said, you know what? I could rent you a room. Nobody's going to be here, so there's nothing, there's no service. But I could leave a key for you on the front, in the office, the front of the office. And I said, I would love that. And so it was done. So Thanksgiving morning, I loaded up the car. It was the worst weather, which always happens, the worst pouring rain, couldn't see a thing. So I take off and I get to the mountains where this monastery was. But then you have to follow this road deep into a forest, deep. And I'm driving and driving, and I can hardly see because the rain is pouring down. And finally, I'm thinking, what am I doing? I shouldn't even be doing this. But finally, up ahead, there's an arch, a wooden arch, and it had the name of the monastery. I thought, oh, thank God I got here. So I drove in, and there's a wide expanse of stuff in the middle, an opening. But then on one side, there are rooms, 2 levels that you go in the rooms from the outside, kind of like an old motel. And then there are rooms on the other side, 2 stories going up. So I found the office. I found the little envelope that said Jan on it, and it had my key. And I found my room. It was up the stairs and all the way down to the very end. And that was my room. And so I'm putting the key in thinking, oh, I wonder what this is going to look like or be like. And it was dark inside, so I flipped the switch on the wall and the light came up. And I looked around and it was a very pristine, um, very minimal room. It had a bed, a double bed. It had a little two-seater couch under a window. It had a little table and a chair, and that is it. And then you walk in and there's a little bathroom. Everything is very clean, very neat, but just the minimal things that you would need to stay there. And I stood there and just kind of looked around and I thought, this is the best choice I have ever made. No people, no one I have to address or be social with, just me. So I brought bananas and jugs of water. And I thought, okay, everybody else is pigging out, which I normally would be too. I'm going to do kind of a fast, but I knew I had to eat something. So I had bananas and water and my favorite book, which is a Krishnamurti. And if you're interested, I can give you the title, but I take it everywhere. And Krishnamurti doesn't pull any punches. He tells you like it is. So I had that. And so for the next 2 days, I walked around the grounds and they had beautiful trails that walked into the forest, and I followed trails and I saw the monks in the midst of all the clouds and mist as they carried food and whatever to different cabins, different rooms for the dying monks. And I spent a few days, 2.5 days there. And in that room, that empty room, I faced my demons, all my demons, meaning my fears and my sadness and my hopelessness, and all those demons were there in that room with me, and I couldn't run away from them. I couldn't hide from them. I had to be with all of that. Like, what is going to happen to me? Where is my life going to go? How am I going to manage this? All of this. And there was no distraction. And I had to face it. And it was, when I left that place, I was so different, so different. And it doesn't mean that it was all easy after that, hardly. It was so difficult. But I had this like quiet strength within me from just being with all of that, nobody around. And so the third poison, the last two videos I covered, the first poison, greed, the second one, oh gosh, I just went, this is what happens when I get talking to somebody. Greed, oh, hatred. And the third one is aversion, is a poison. If you try to deny what is real, when you keep chasing after, when you keep thinking and thinking it's going to be different, aversion to what is, that is a poison that will kill you going forward. It'll hold you back. And so you don't have to go to a monastery and have a room by yourself. You can go to your own room within you and face it all. And it's not easy. And I don't pretend to say it's easy. But aversion is not the path to heal. Talk about it. Tell me about it. I'll listen. Write to me about it. I'll listen. I know. I do know. I'm not saying I know exactly how you feel, but I know what you feel. I know that horrible sadness. So let's meditate on that. Thank you for listening to my story. I wanted to share that to kind of bring home the point of being with what's going on. Okay, enough. Let's meditate. I believe in meditation. I believe it's a time to rest your mind and allow whatever comes in, allow you to focus on what is. Okay, get comfortable. That's the first step. Get comfortable. Take a breath. I always lower my head unless I'm out walking, meditating, but you can close your eyes or you can leave them open and just gaze downward. So you kind of eliminate some of the distraction. Welcome. My dear friends, welcome. Today, I invite you to reflect on a quiet temptation that many of us know. So let's allow our body first to soften, the belly, the hands, the fingers, the feet, the toes. Begin by connecting to your breath as you breathe in, breathing out. Notice if your jaw is tight, soften it. Allow your tongue to relax in your mouth, your cheeks to soften, your eyes and your eyelids, your forehead smooths away of lines of worry, the lines of sadness. You notice even the muscles in the scalp begin to soften as you continue your natural rhythm of breath, breathing in and breathing out. Your legs become heavy and supported by whatever is beneath you. We move into our moments of meditation for clarity, for help, for understanding. Feel your breath. Allow your breath to be your anchor to this moment. And even as the thoughts may pass through, allow them to be. See your thought and then gently come back to your breath. So for a few moments, we let go of the temptation to fight, the temptation to control, the temptation to disappear completely. And life can become so heavy that we slowly retreat from it. You know that feeling? When we stop calling our friends, or we stop creating, or we stop dreaming or laughing. And sometimes we disappear from ourselves and we just go through the motions of life. And the Buddha understands. He always understood this tendency. It happens. And sometimes our suffering makes us want to go into complete aversion of what's happening, just a wish to turn away from what hurts. But he taught that freedom isn't found by completely abandoning our lives. It's found by meeting it with awareness, just one gentle breath at a time. So let us sit here right now, one breath at a time, noticing our sadness, maybe that feeling of being abandoned. The Buddha never ever asked us to pretend that life is easy. He didn't talk about smiling through our grief or silencing our tears. He simply invited us to remain present. And there is extraordinary courage in remaining present. To wake up to another morning, to open the curtains, to make a cup of tea, to watch the changing sky, to answer one more message, to take one slow walk. And these ordinary acts, they're not small. They're just a declaration that life still matters. Perhaps even if you've disappeared a little bit. Breathing in, breathing out. And perhaps heartbreak persuades you to close the door to your own heart. And if so, be gentle with yourself. You're not beginning again, you're simply returning. And there's no shame in having hidden yourself. There is no shame in that. You know, sometimes our soul seeks shelter. And remember, the shelters are meant for resting and healing and not for living there. At some point, the door opens. It does. And the light enters. And something within whispers to you, it is time. Not time to become someone new. Not time to prove yourself. Only time to rejoin your own life. So this moment right now is enough. This breath is enough. This heartbeat is enough. You don't need to solve your entire future today. You only need to remain right here. Notice the rhythm of your breathing as you breathe in and breathe out. Feel that quiet miracle that life hasn't given up on you. The trees continue to grow and the stars continue their journey and the seasons continue their turning. And so may you. And if today all you can do is to stay present for this single breath, then let that be enough for you. Let that be your practice. Every breath is a homecoming. Every act of kindness towards yourself is a refusal to disappear completely. So let us rest quietly now. And allow yourself to hear these simple words within. I remain. I remain. I belong here. I will not abandon myself. And that is enough for today. That is enough. Breathing in, breathing out. That is enough. You're here with me. That is enough. And now, as we close our meditation for today, we are very thankful to be alive, even though it's hard at times. And slowly, as we close our meditation, with your eyes remaining closed, you just feel your surroundings, knowing where everything is, feeling comfortable, feeling supported. Quietly now, as you add a little movement to your body, perhaps movement of the shoulders or the fingers or the toes, we will close our meditation for this Sunday. And when you're ready, you may reopen your eyes. Life is hard at times, isn't it? Everybody I meet has a story. I love to listen to their stories. This necklace I got last week. I don't wear a lot of jewelry, but I met this woman who is going through a really bad time. And she used to sell costume jewelry, and she had to just get rid of it and make some money. And I wanted to support her, so I got this for yesterday, the 4th of July, which I don't like the 4th of July because I mean, I know the meaning behind it I like, but I don't like all the firecrackers because of the animals, how it hurts them and scares them. I hate that. But anyway, so I bought this from her. I thought I could wear it yesterday, so I wore it today to show it to you. Yeah. It was the simplest thing that she had, because most of it's really, loud and crazy, dazzly. So anyway, okay. So thank you for, I hope I didn't go on too long. I always worry about that. So I make everything short. Don't listen to country music if you're feeling sad. But I'm going to start listening to more of it because I really enjoy it. I think maybe there's a part of me I like to feel sad. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Okay, so I'll see you next week or maybe during the week. Thank you so much for listening and for tuning in. And I don't know, it just makes me feel good that maybe somebody's connecting with me, feels good. Okay, enough. See you soon. Take care of yourself. Have a good week. Have a good week. Okay.